Good afternoon and welcome to the video. I'm in the beautiful country of Namibia, the second least densely populated country in the world after Mongolia, and that's become very apparent very quickly. Flew in from Cape Town this morning and you could just see the vastness of the desert as you're coming in to land on the plane. And I've got a very special guest. Someone's making their video debut for you today, but I'm not going to tell you quite who it is just yet. So the plan of action is as follows. I'm actually going to make a little mini series. So we've started up in the capital, Windhoek, sorted out our 4x4, the beautiful Isuzu, as you can see behind me. We need to think of a name for us still. Susie the Isuzu. Yeah. Thank you, cameraman. Also, as you can see, we're at the Tropic of Capricorn. Anyway, I was talking about the mini series. So we've got a lot on. It's 8 days non-stop of traveling around the country, the ultimate road trip, everything we can cram in this time. And so I'm gonna stagger it piece by piece and keep you on tenterhooks as we go through all the action. So first up, tomorrow morning, we're going to an abandoned town from World War I. This country was heavily occupied by Germany in the First World War. That's why there's a lot of German language on the Namibian signs and the place names. And so we're going to go to this abandoned town tomorrow, which is a few hours drive. It's a very big country, so we've got a lot of driving to do. Hence Susie is going to do us a solid. And so we started this Africa series just under the equator when we were in Arusha in Tanzania. And you can see now, this is my first time at the Tropic of Capricorn. Anyone that needs a little geography lesson, like I taught those kids in Arusha, you've got obviously the equator in the center, halfway between the North and the South Pole, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn just underneath. So pretty special moment to be here on the dry land. Time to meet our special guest. Have you thought about what you're going to say yet, mate?
No, I haven't. How are we doing, guys? I'm Matt, I'm 26, I'm single, and I love an adventure. Let's go.
So we're staying tonight in a place called Multaho, and it's about a 4-hour drive from Windhoek where we started today. Matt and I are just having a good old chinwag and a catch up. First old friend I've seen since coming to Africa. A welcome gesture indeed, my good sir. Yeah, we're gonna arrive there, it's 5 o'clock now, we'll arrive there about 7, ideally. I haven't got signal, didn't get SIM cards either. It's kind of nice to be off the grid a bit for this week, and then we'll get Wi-Fi in the evenings. And we've also booked some pretty cool accommodations throughout. It's been very last minute planning. By last minute, I mean yesterday. we literally booked everything. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was literally yesterday we booked all the accommodations. But we got some nice stuff, so some cool places with pools overlooking the desert. And we'll find out what they're like at the same time you do. Right, let's try and get there before sunset now. Good morning, it's 7 AM and the sun's just come up. We've had a nice little breakfast and we're in Multaho town still. On our way this morning, we've got the 4-hour drive to Luderitz. Priority number 1, get some fuel in here. Because obviously fuel stations are few and far between around here, so we're just gonna top up whenever we can. We took a half tank yesterday to get down here, so we might use a whole tank today. We will see. Quickly filling up, then we'll get on the road. So yesterday felt pretty apocalyptic as well, picking up this huge 4x4, and then Matt and I bombed straight into the supermarket and spent like half a week's wages on water, and we got loads of big bottles of 5 litres of water and snacks for when we're on the move, because as I've said, everything's very vast expanse here. The vibes in different places, obviously we've only stayed 1 night so far. It's pretty insane. It felt like we were in like early 20th century Germany, because that's the heritage of this area. Like the Germans heavily colonized it, as I'll tell you a bit more about later when we get down to the village. But yeah, the place we were staying was heavy like World War I German themes, and it was a cool little gaff. Managed to get some food in, had a nice dinner last night. And for some reason my phone wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi, so I'm actually on a bit of a detox at the moment, which it's amazing how embarrassing it is to feel proud of that in this day and age. Yeah, I didn't go on my phone for 1 day. Hello again. It's been been 2 hours since we set off, and you can see the vastness of the surroundings. I think if we were in a position where we did run out of fuel, we'd be pretty screwed, because there's literally nothing for kilometers in each direction. We've passed about 5 cars, Matt, you reckon?
Yeah, if that, it's crazy.
Yeah, 4 or 5 cars in 2 hours of travel. Least dense place that both of us have ever been to. It's quite surreal. It's quite hard to wrap your mind around as well, especially when we were chilling in the accommodation last night. It's like that woman that works there, the chef, and like no one else. They just chill every day on their own. Sorry, nearly crashed there. I'll concentrate. And we're here in Kolmanskop. We made it, and we made up some good time, like 45 minutes quicker than we expected to be. So the actual old town is behind us, so we're gonna go over there very shortly, but for now, just soaking everything in as we make our way along. And this railway track actually played a pivotal part in the foundation of this town, which I'll tell you about very shortly.
Oh, it's so short back there.
Crazy how this door is literally halfway, just wedged in. Oh my god. Destroyed that sand, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fancy a rinse. So before we go any further, I should probably tell you a brief history of this town. The Germans colonised Southwest Africa in the late 1800s, and this town was named after a guy called Johnny Coleman. He was a transport driver who, during a sandstorm, parked his ox wagon next to this town, as the legend has it, and that's why the town was named after him. So in 1908, as part of the colonisation of the town, they were building a railway here, and a worker, a native worker, found a diamond and showed it to his German railway inspector superior. And the superior's job was to keep the railway clear at this time. And he was a mineralogist as a hobby, and so asked all the workers to, or told all the workers, I'm sure, to bring him any interesting or rare stones that he found. And sure enough, this one that was found was a diamond. And so the rest is history. This town quickly became responsible for more than 11% of the world's diamond production and produced over 1 million carats a year at one point. And then by 1911, it was the richest town in Africa and one of the richest towns in the whole world. And so due to the huge wealth of the town as a result of all those diamonds, that's why it was built to resemble German architecture. And they didn't pull any punches at all. So they built a hospital, ballroom, bowling alley, casino, and even the first X-ray machine in the Southern Hemisphere was built here. And legend has it that's to stop the workers from swallowing the diamonds so they could keep control of them. But now it's obviously ruined, as you can see, and how that happened was after the First World War in 1914, the South Africans took over the administration of German Southwest Africa. And then by 1920, a much larger deposit of diamonds, as this one was being depleted, a much larger deposit was found closer to the Orange River, which is a few hundred kilometers south of here. And so everyone packed up shop, moved down, and this place was left to rot. And then by 1950s, it was completely abandoned, and all the sand dunes have weaved their way in, as you can see today. I think Matt and I are both struggling to think that anything other than this would be an awesome Call of Duty map. Literally every building I get to, I'm like, okay, take cover here.
Long hallway, paintball,
yeah. Exactly. Look at that, just in time, the quartermaster. What's he got for us? We've got to get in this one.
Surely, yeah.
Here we go.
Not the bad direction.
There's two, not this one.
London door. Oh, we're going to break the stone next.
Yeah, try it.
Send me up first, yeah, who you want?
I'll do it if you want.
Good last, mate.
German engineering for your stairs.
What's wrong with this heck? This is sick.
Look at the view from here.
Pretty cool.
Door's locked, so we've come through the windows to get onto the balcony. Awesome. Really cool to come here. I'm glad we made a day of it.
So cool. So worth trip.
But I haven't established which was the bowling alley yet.
No, I'm looking for it. I'm gonna go hit some pins. I reckon it's the big one.
Yeah, we still got that big building to do. Let's go over. Made it to the theatre. We need to get the power on. And that is the end of Kolmanskop. Well, no, it's not the end of Kolmanskop. It's the end of our visit to Kolmanskop. Very enjoyable. Now we're going to Luderitz, which is the coastal town just down the corner. It's about 10 k's away.
Just down the corner, yeah?
Just down the corner, yeah. You try being a YouTuber.
Maybe I will.
Back over the train tracks. And back into the abyss. Feels like we're going back into outer space again now, honestly. We've seen nothing this morning until we got there, which is also a bit of nothing. So now we're going to Shark Island on Luderitz, which is a lookout point. Don't know what it'll be like, but it's worth seeing while we're here. And then we got oh shit, a plane. Look at this. And then more desert. It's a very desert themed trip this actually. This is very cool. So yeah, go down that way I think, and then we just go to the point. Shark Point. Hoo ha ha. What do they say in Nemo?
Shark bait.
Shark Bay, yeah.
Shark point belly.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, just keep going, yeah. Shark Point, baby. So we're on a Shark Island viewpoint now. And that one over there, it's called Penguin Island. Do you know why? Because there's no penguins on it. There might be, but I can't see them. Yeah.
Have a quick swim, go tell me.
I bet that's freezing. That's Atlantic actually. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's going down to touch the Atlantic, he says. I don't know why he wants to touch the Atlantic, but that's what he's doing. And he's done it. He's touched it. You proud of yourself, Matt? Now he's on his phone. He's going to record himself. Oh, record himself touching the Atlantic, I think. Brilliant. It's the Atlantic, mate. And he's coming back. There's a little jackal type coyote thing over there. So we thought we'd pull over and try and give it some biltong. But it's bolted, yeah? No. Good afternoon. I've been chewing on the same piece of biltong now for around an hour. And we're making our way back. It's been a fantastic day, probably our longest day of driving in total, like 4 hours each way, but awesome to see though that ancient German town. Ancient I think is an appropriate word, just about. I don't know what qualifies as ancient. Anyway, we are driving back now and we don't have a pool today, so the accommodation is not that exotic, but for the next couple of days we have some pretty awesome accommodations lined up, so they'll obviously be in the future videos.
Keep them way more nice.
That's what I do. Tomorrow we have what many people will consider the main event of visiting Namibia, which may be our main event, but we've got so many things lined up you never know. And it's the sausage. That sounds like I say creme brulee. Sausage fly. I'll learn how to say it by tomorrow. Yeah, awesome desert expanse with completely dry plains. Should be able to see some more animals and some trees as well. If you like trees, then you're in luck. Right, I think that's all I've got to say. So hopefully you've enjoyed this mini adventure. Like I said, I'm going to do a mini series, so we'll have some short videos for every day to keep you entertained if your life's boring at the moment, or even if it's not. That's all from me. Matt would like to tell you something as well.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
He nailed it first time. Good job, man.